what it was. Y'all already know who it is. And y'all tuned in with. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And before we even get started, man, let me send a shout out to the homie Jabaz, the sleepwalker, man, because not only is he one of the only ones that kept it real and checked on me when I was sick, but this dude right here is also a tremendous inspiration to me, y'all, because before I was ever doing this with y'all, I was watching him do his thing in his backyard with his Ascendant series. And when I think about that, man, that also wants me to let y'all know, man, you should never be able to stress the significance of the ascendant enough in astrology, man. I know y'all get caught up on all the sun sign and even the moon sign and Venus and Mars because that's what sells, but that ascendant is everything because that sets the table. That puts the houses into place, man. And the planet that rules your ascendant is called your chart ruler for a reason. So that's always worth paying attention to. See where the fuck what your chart ruler is, see where it is, and see how it affects your life, and a lot more things will make sense about you. Okay? Think about that, man. For instance, I'm a Libra rising. So that means Venus is my chart ruler. Well, my Venus is in Leo in the 10th house. And you see where we at. You see how fabulous I keep it. Don't hate. We ain't doing that today. But for these people with this placement we're going to talk about today, it's not necessarily that easy, okay? Because this right here, this ain't Venus. This a little something about those people that have Saturn and Leo in their natal chart. And see, before I even go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell you a little bit about Saturn. I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown of the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. Then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about what the sign of Leo is actually all about. And then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination. And fortunately for you, you tuned in with one of the coldest closers in the game. So without wasting any more time, let's get this thing cracking. So Saturn, Daddy Saturn. If you ain't got the memo by now, Saturn is the resident disciplinarian and taskmaster of the zodiac. And anytime you fucking with Saturn, it ain't gonna make shit easy at all. As a matter of fact, being the ruler of the sign of Capricorn in the 10th house of the astrological chart, anytime you fucking with Saturn, you're gonna have to put the necessary steps in and do all the work that it takes if you ever want to see tangible results. You see, it's like that priceless message of Jesus Christ himself. If Jupiter is going to feed you a fish and bless you for a day, that's cool. But Saturn's going to put you through some shit that teaches you to fish and you'll never be hungry again. I don't think you hear me though. When I was a child and I thought like a child and I was living in my childish ways, I was scared of Saturn a little bit because Saturn represents hard work. It represents discipline. It represents hardships, represents fears. But as I've grown into my spiritual maturity, I love Saturn. After I've had my first Saturn return and I realized what's going on with life and see that it opened up a spiritual awakening for me, it's everything. You see, my Saturn's in Sagittarius. We ain't talking about me, all right? And y'all youngsters these days, y'all be talking about pressure, man. Oh, I'm pressure. You not pressure. Saturn is pressure. And pressure do two things. Pressure either bust your pipe or make a diamond out of you. I mean, how the fuck you think I'm sitting here shining before you here today? Saturn also co-rules the sign of Aquarius in the 11th house of the astrological chart. And that said, it's okay to want to rule the world too. And Saturn rules over time and all of its usefulness and all of its limitations. And when you look at that from a human aspect, that means it rules over age and old age and all of the lessons that come along with that. And wherever Saturn shows up in a chart, man, it shows where we feel restricted and where we see obligations, where we see fears, where we might be holding ourselves back. So where the universe might be holding us back a little bit so we can catch up on some karma. Now, the sign placement of Saturn, which is what we're talking about now, this shows the type of energy connected with our obligations. It also shows the type of energy that we're going to have to work a little bit harder and able to access, man. And when we're talking about the house placement of Saturn, this shows areas of life that we feel restricted in and where we're going to have to work harder in to obtain the things that are coming to us. And I've already done a whole series on the house placements of Saturn, which is not the same thing as the sign placement, no matter what these lazy ass astrologers try to tell you. So after we get done with all these, you can be able to go check your house and your sign. But today, once we get done with this, if you got Saturn and Leo, you can go check any house placement that you have going on with it. All right. We got that going on. And when we talk about the aspects of Saturn, these show the most direct involvement of other areas of life with feelings of responsibility. And the last thing to remember about Saturn is every 28 to 32 years, Saturn transverses the whole zodiac and comes back to the place it was at the moment of your birth. And that signifies that Saturn return. That went out on me. And that signifies the end and beginning of some karmic cycles. And that's one of the most feared aspects in astrology, because that's signifying a time where you finna have your head pulled out of your ass viciously. Viciously. This is where lessons are going to be learned, man. This is where you might see some hardships, but if you're on point, you might see some restrictions ease up on that ass. If you're on point. And it takes work to do that, man. Saturn's all about work. And so when we're talking about the sign of Leo, Leo is the 5th sign of the zodiac. And hey, this fixed fire here, y'all. So, it's quite stubborn and unmoving energetically. That's the first thing to remember. And it's ruled solely by the sun. And its mantra is I will. Okay. Its symbol is the lion, and it rules over the heart. And so Leo energy is pretty much impossible to miss because it loves being center stage. Okay. Making an impression is really the Leo energy's number one job. And, this is extremely ambitious and magnetic energy. And the sense of purpose that comes along with it is really the absolute epitome of creative. And it's really all about fun and flair and warmth and love. And wherever Leo shows up in the chart, it's going to manifest itself pretty dramatically and enthusiastically too, man. And it's going to seek to bring attention to itself. And, kind of some of the issues that come along with this right here is, it gets kind of fixed on certain principles or opinions, and it defends them even when they themselves don't necessarily believe that anymore. Okay. So just remember that when you're dealing with Leo energy, the pride always comes before the fall. And so, I guess that's some lesson to be learned here, because now we got Saturn in Leo. And, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. This one right here, it's a tough pill to swallow, because here you have individuals who are deeply motivated by a fear of being just another chip off the old block. But the problem with that shit is, hey, they have a real hard time openly expressing themselves because they take themselves way too motherfucking seriously, man. So here we have a predicament for the ages, because on one hand, these folks really need to know that they're being recognized for their worth and their talents and their vibrancy. But on the other hand, they constantly underestimate themselves and sell themselves short on their abilities and all the talents and shit. Even when they do try to get their shine on, there seems like there's always some kind of drama that goes down that upstages them or fucks up the moment for them, man. So a lot of them just kind of get to a point where, they feel like it ain't even worth trying to put themselves out there anymore, man. They just don't feel like that, man, which is unfortunate, because truth be told, these folks right here are actually the epitome of a creative monster, man. And they also make amazing leaders if they can just find their confidence, which, that'll come in time. That'll come in time. And once they do, oh boy, man. They have all that unrelenting fixed fire to really accomplish anything in the world that they want to do in life, man. And that's on a grand scale too. Best believe. But it's just going to be a little bit harder for them than most to express themselves emotionally in a positive way. But it ain't impossible. Okay. They just got to work at it. And in time, it can ease up. But let me also say that, when it comes to more serious circumstances where, a Leo Saturn person has to assert their will, hey, it's nobody that's going to be a more valiant leader or a more worthy opponent. But, in time, they're going to have to learn how to stop fighting battles and start showing warmth and compassion in life. Okay. And, that's real. That's really what this boils down to. Yeah, Leo's the king. But it doesn't have to rule in fire. It can also be love and warmth. Okay? And hey, Saturn gonna teach you that the hard way if you got this placement, man. And it ain't gonna be easy, man. And that especially goes to these folks placement. These folks relationships right here. Because that's really where, that drama plays out the most. That's where we see them have this tendency to exaggerate and then be extremely jealous for no apparent reason sometimes. No apparent reason, which really wreaks havoc on their interaction with the people they love until they mature into a place where they can be straight up and expressing what they really want. And then they'll be able to feel worthy of being loved the right way. And even if that ain't the issue, Okay. There could also be some problems right here where you see delays in the ability to show affection and seek attention until after that first Saturn return too. Okay. But once they do develop some confidence, then they can really allow themselves to feel appreciated, which is everything with this placement. I mean, everything. And so to sum this up, man, Saturn and Leo people, they have all the fucking tenacity they need to make it in the professional world because they never relax until the job is done with this fire that they have going on, man. As a matter of fact, relaxation is just something that's just pretty hard for them all the way around, to be honest with you, man, especially in their younger years. And the same goes for being able to cut loose and just fucking have some fun, man. So what we end up seeing a lot of times with this one is people who have this tendency to grow younger in essence as they get older. And hey, I don't want y'all to get that confused with immaturity either. Okay. Cause that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them being able to open up and allow their true colors to show more and more as time goes by in life. All right. And I'm talking about their true talents and the things they really enjoy revealing themselves more and more with the older that they get, to the point where they can actually become masters at some point of showing up and showing out. Real talk. Let me fix my shit. And you know, the biggest challenge with these folks' lives right here is all about letting go of that powerfully overbearing facade they built up. And in time, they'll be able to reveal that warm, loving, creative, funny artiste that's within themselves. And once they do, hey, best believe Saturn is going to show them how to make the most out of it. But it's just going to take time, and it's going to take effort for them to really actively overcome that innate shyness and work past that rigid thinking process that's held them back for a lot of their lives, because it undoubtedly has. And if this is your placement right here, man, please don't ever forget to have some motherfucking fun sometimes. For real, man. But even if you want to keep that stick up your ass, that's all right. Because just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. We all have all this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. But even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support. This is the time that you should be hitting that like button, because I know I went in. And if you don't hit the like button, hit the dislike button if you a hater. That's okay. But show me some type of interaction. Drop a comment. Let me know how you feel, man. It's good to see y'all, man. If y'all are interested in any readings whatsoever, don't hit me up in the comments below. Shoot me an email at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And I'm looking to hear from y'all too, man. I've been sick, but it's time to get back on the grind all the way around, okay? And if y'all looking for any merch, y'all can do the same thing. Hit me up in my email. But I'm telling you now, I can sell you all the merch you want, and I will. But this type of swag that I got, it's got to be in you and not on you. So let me put it in you.